Hi everyone, this is Jill with Greenwood Girl Cards, and I am going to try and do a tutorial video for you. This is actually the second time I'm filming this. The first video, the lighting just was not good, so I deleted it and I'm starting over. And I just want to show you what we're going to be creating today. We're going to be creating these little reindeer tags, and what it uses is a little scalloped heart punch, some googly eyes, a button for the nose along with a little bling, a red bling, and then the little antlers are actually made with the fronds of a snowflake die cut, okay? And I will show you what die that is. It's a Sizzix Bigs die, and it's called Snowflakes number 2. I hope you can see that. So, and I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but I showed you what the die cut looks like. And so I'll be cutting the fronds from that. And then I also, for the girl reindeer, I'm using a little holly bling piece that I got. It's just a little sticker. And these are sold at all the big box stores. So that is what we're going to do today. I'm also using some ink and an ink dauber to edge around the die cut. And I thought I'd show you a couple others that I've made also. These are just using some circle punches. So just a regular circle punch or a scallop circle punch. So this one is a man deer, a guy deer. And then this one's a little baby deer. And this one uses a smaller snowflake to create the little baby antlers. So those are just some ideas for reindeer tags. And I'd like to give credit to Debbie Hughes. She actually made a tag like this that you can find on Pinterest. And then I was scouring Pinterest for ideas and saw an ornament the other day made out of a heart-shaped button. It was a little felt ornament, and then there was a heart-shaped button and a body for a reindeer made out of buttons. And that's where I got the idea to use a heart to make a reindeer. So, and that was what really sparked the idea for this tag. So let's get started, okay? The first thing we're going to do, of course, is just use our punch. I always turn my punch over when I'm punching, and we're just going to punch a heart out, okay? And then after you have your punch, you're going to take just some to and from stamps. These ones happen to be from a to from set from Paper Tray Ink, and it actually says to and then with love. And you're just going to go ahead and always stamp your to and from. If you're wanting to put those on your tag, always do that first, because once you get all the dimensional stuff on your tag, it's very difficult to stamp on it. So you do that first, and then we're going to turn the tag over and use a little bit of ink. I'm using some Memento Hot Cocoa ink. Or Rich Cocoa is the name of it actually. And we're just going to very gently edge around the side of the die cut. And what this does is give a little bit of dimension to the reindeer's face. I made a tag without the inking, and I really think the inking adds a lot. So, and it doesn't take too long to edge a die cut. So there's our inking, and I'm hoping I'm doing everything in frame. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is cut our antlers and place those on the tag. So I just take the die cut and just snip 2 of the pieces off, try and do it the same length. Okay, and then sometimes there's some little, this had a few little pieces of paper from die cutting that needed to be pulled out, but there we go. So then I'm just going to use some Tombow Mono Multi Glue, or whatever glue you like for crafting. What I like about the Tombow glue is that it does dry. It sets up really, really fast. And so when you're creating something, it dries really quick, and I like that. When you're making tags with a lot of different pieces, you want a glue that's going to set up quick so that you don't lose things off your tag as you're trying to create it. Next, I'm going to do these 2 little green googly eyes, and I found the googly eyes actually at the dollar store last year during Christmas. Excuse my head if it's in the way while I'm doing this, but I'm putting some Ranger Multi Medium Matte Glue down to hold the eyeballs on. Anytime I use a very dimensional embellishment, I usually try to use a very strong glue, and the multimedia matte is a very strong glue. So that is what I'm using to place my eyes. Try and make them look like they're in the right spots there. Okay, and then we need a nose. So I got these buttons. I'll show you from Tuesday morning. There's the code if you want it. And I'm just going to go through here and try and find a red button that will look good for the nose. And I like that one. So, and you could use any button. You could use a brown button if you wanted to. I'm using red so that it's more like a Rudolph reindeer. So, or in this case, it's going to be Rudolph's girlfriend, really. What was her name? Does anybody remember that from the cartoon? Oh my gosh, I like to watch that show every year. All right, so again, I'm going to use the multimedia matte to place the button on my tag. And don't be stingy with the glue when you're putting a button on. You want a nice pile of glue so that it'll really adhere that button down. And if you have any problems with the button coming loose, you could also use hot glue. I do use hot glue a lot when I'm trying to attach bigger embellishments, and I can already tell that that is not going to stay. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Better to have a little extra when you're putting a button on. So go ahead and put that down and let it set up. And then I also I got a huge thing of Christmas bling from the dollar store in red and green, and I just have a little row of the red here that I'm using to make my reindeer. And they're in a string like this, and I just cut between the gems to get my little nose that I'm going to add on top of the button. And it helps sometimes to have one of these quick stick picker uppers when you're trying to place things. Sometimes it's just hard you know, to get them to go exactly where you want. And these little sticks sometimes really do help. So there we go. So now there's a nice shiny nose. And then the last thing that I'm going to add, because again, I'm making a girl reindeer this time, is one of these little holly blings to her antler. Okay, and to finish the tag off, the last thing I always do is put my little, whoops, my little hole there, and see, I'm moving my eyeball. Oftentimes I'll wait until I have everything dry before I start adding my red thread for the hanger part of the tag, but for the sake of the tutorial, I thought I would just do the whole thing on camera. So we'll see if we can get through it here. And so I'm just feeding that through from the back. Look at my eyeballs are moving all over, you guys. So luckily with this glue, it does dry matte and you don't notice it after, because I had the same problem on the last tag I made. And so, but that is a good tip. You know, I usually put all my embellishments on and then I leave the tags sitting out on a desk overnight, and then the next morning I come down and because I do a lot of my crafting in the early morning, so the next morning I'll come down after everything's dried and set up, and that's when I'll do my ties and usually my photography. So it works out pretty well, because the best time to photograph is in the morning when you have good daylight. So now I really need a little wipe to kind of clean up my glue mess here, but I'll do it after I'm off camera. So there is your finished tag, and you can see I just think these are adorable. I'm so glad I thought of the heart idea, because I really like it. Pinterest always gives me ideas, and Debbie Hughes tag is really the jumping off point. If you haven't ever been to her blog, just Google Debbie Hughes and reindeer tag and her whole blog will come up. And she's a phenomenal artist, and I just love her work. So anyway, that's what the finished product looks like. Again, this is Jill with Greenwood Girl Cards. If you like this video, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you come back and see me again. Curating Christmas is a giveaway that I do every year around November, mid-November to late November is when it starts. And I like to share all of the different products that I'm crafting with for my Christmas tags and cards. And I do a little giveaway, and I invite everyone else to get out their Christmas crafty stuff and to start creating for Christmas. I think it's one of the most beautiful times of the year, and I love sharing homemade kindness with other people. So thanks for tuning in to this first tutorial video.